Times now is back to the rhymes. It's like, wow, he's back to the rhymes. I'm in the booth, ready dropping dimes. Clark Kent, Daily Plant, the Metropolis Times. I write these raps while I'm under the gun. I see you back to get you some. A little bit of this and a little bit of that. Pure, raw, uncut rap. Back to the rhymes. Now's the time. Time to unwind because back to the rhymes. Back to the rhymes. Now's the time. Time to unwind because it's back to the rhymes. Okay. So let's go down the list. School Us album sales. That, of course, is here. Went on CD Baby. Well, let me hold on that because this relates to that, but I'm not there yet. No sales this week. No sales to report. Country song. I don't like sunsets much. So I think I mentioned the song idea. That's good. My coworker, I did find out who the carrier is for Dean Johnson. That's okay. So my mom told me about him. He's blowing up. I guess you'd call him like a local success. Selling out the Tractor Tavern for maybe a album release, CD release, I believe. Apparently, he's just one man playing the guitar and doing good with that. So that's good. It's exciting that. So talking to my coworker, and I was having some more conversations at church today, or one conversation, but he's like, yeah, that's country. What you hear today, typically they call themselves country. It's not country. Okay, here we go again. So he mentioned Garth Brooks is probably the beginning of the end for the classic country era and kind of the over the top, overproduced, if you want to use that term. So I'm getting it. I still think, but my friends from church today were saying the rock era ended. And I said, well, it ended, but there's been kind of a merger, if you like that kind of rock sound, if you go to country. So that's the closest place to find it, I would say, in 80s music, which we didn't know how good we had it. No, we didn't. So anyway, he asked if I was going to go to a show to the sold out. My mom even, who told me, no, we're not going. But I need to still look him up. I did have a good week or month or quarter because I found a new country song I enjoyed from artists I never heard of. On my mind, something, the George, I don't remember his name. I kind of know the song, but good song. Right away, I was like, oh, I needed that. So it's been a while. So got a good song. Anyways, one thing I find with a lot of the songs I prefer is they kind of start high and they kind of come down into the chorus is actually down from the song starts up and kind of, I like that because obviously a song a lot of times can start kind of mellow and come up, and that one Mississippi Kane Brown's kind of definitely like that kind of, you don't even notice it. Sometimes a lot of these songs you almost forget about it and think, oh, I do like that one, or I didn't even know there's that song. So that's what I'll say about this latest song I heard. It's been a while since I heard. It almost goes back to that Kane Brown song that for the most recent. I haven't been hearing all the songs, but I did check out the CT Top 40, the top 40 songs, and so that's how I was able to find that song on the list. So there we go. All right, YouTube channel. So I did go on CD Baby, and I guess it hasn't released yet. I asked my daughter, she checked Spotify and it hasn't come out. So, CD Baby has a live chat Monday through Thursday, 9 to 1. And I think that's Pacific time because they're based in Portland. So my next step would be to attempt a live chat with them. I can't say for sure it'd be this I have Wednesday off. I'll set the goal to either do it this Wednesday or next Thursday. So if I don't do it this Wednesday, I'll do it next Thursday. It all has to do with if I find myself home and I have a minute of downtime in remembering it. If not, I'm going to force myself to do it next Thursday. I don't know if I want to wait that long. I'm going to do it. I'm going to try this live chat because I get a little impatient. Come on, and they start talking about, well, your album's ready to release, but then you can promote it. There's not going to be any of that promoting. I'm just going to put it out there, right? So, but what it said 5 business days, and it was back on the 23rd of November is when I said, go ahead and release it, and it hasn't happened. So that's that. Okay. And everything's pretty much the same with the social media. Nothing to report there. So rules of engagement, nothing to talk about there. Bellevue Ballers, getting towards the end of the year. I know someone's looking for work. I haven't talked to them directly, but it's just this time of year, it's a little hard to get an interview because of all the schedules and people, so this can happen this time of year. But it did occur to me that so the way people operate when it comes to doing something above and beyond, extraordinary, let's say, most people, I guess, are in the ordinary camp in that when the summer comes, when the holidays come, they're not doing anything but their job or the minimums, and they got to do social gatherings and barbecues and stuff like that. And it's just not, it's like, anyway, they talk about stuff's not for them. That's not for me in terms of, I'm okay with it, but what's so great about it? I want the burgers. I'll hang out with people, but what are we going to do? We're going to just not going to do anything so we can, that's what's nice about this. This is actionable. We're taking action, time permitting. Music for Back to the Rhymes, and I should say, and by the way, my daughter is going to be allowed to join Bellevue Ballers here this month. She's going to be 16, so she can be a brand ambassador and all this great stuff. So she can join the ranks of the self-employed at 16 years old. What do you think of that? On the piece of the rock of the United States of America, not just be in student mode. All right. So music for Back to the Rhyme. So I talked to Pastor Mike today. Such a blessing. Thank you, Pastor Mike. So we're talking about rhythm. And so I was going to play the drums. I asked him about playing the drums. He's like, so he turned on the electric drums, and he's like, he played a couple, like a jazz kind of song, maybe a rock, but they're pretty fast paced. He said, try to, do the kick drum with it, and try to do the, whatever this, shoot, I can't even remember the name. It's not snare, or it's not tom. I don't think it's a kind of more solid one. Anyway, I just couldn't hear it. I couldn't detect. He's like, well, see, you don't have the rhythm. Maybe you can get better, but it's hard. It's just gonna be a struggle. It's like, fair enough, but what do you do? Well, you can always work to improve. And so he's like, you can clap along, because church would clap, but you do have other people clapping. You can kind of keep up with their clap. So that's my goal, is to clap with a song. And thankfully my wife has this ability, and I can check with her and make sure I'm on time. And so the song, I thought it was that song, it's called Rhythm of the Rain, or Rhythm of the Falling Rain, the Cascades. So it's kind of like a rhythm, right? So I was listening to it, and I need, like, this is not good, for a rapper. But then I go back and I say, well, if I'm such a lost cause, so Alex is like, of the acts at that little show we did, he thought I was the best. So, right, I can't think about this as too bad. Maybe I'll go back to Alex and say, well, what is it about what you saw from me that was better than, let's say, the others? And I know part of it's the ministry component, but yeah, it's just, I got to do my best, and that's all there is to it. And I think a music person can be somewhat bothered if someone's off time. Because Mike said it too. He's like, get off time and you catch back up, your words or something. But anyway, I'm not going to change how I write rhymes or anything. I just got to continue to work on improvement And I'm really thankful because that's a lot easier to clap with songs. And I could probably strip these songs down to where I hear it and then progress. So I got to get better. Some songs I know, like We Will Rock You. Isn't that right? Rock you. Am I on time? Am I clap? So I can probably do that one. Right. So then what's the next one? So to me, that's a good basic, song. And then I can see what I can do. Anyway, that's the goal for me. But again, I'm just doing what we can, just doing what I can. Okay, merch. So my man John repping it again, the cat shirt, the cute cat shirt. Any other guys need a cute cat shirt for the ladies? John saying it's good, it's working for him. All right. I don't know if I need to do a promo with him. Maybe that would be the smart move. I have to talk to him about that. Again, going back to this YouTube, sorry, because I was going to I got Dale, my music promoter, and John, Yeah, I need the answer from CD Baby because I did notice someone in my Sunday school, Lynn, artist, she was doodling away, and I'm like, there it is. Lynn, can you draw me a quick picture of a bed of bread, whatever you think that is? And she could be my artist if she's willing. Just doodle it out real quick, just quick. That's the picture. That's the album cover. And that'll be that. So I got to get definitely by the beginning of the year, something's happening, and I probably got to go to the middle of the month to have. If I don't have a set answer from CD Baby, and it's not clear that it's coming out, then I'm going to go to plan B, which is Better Bread Volume 12, and get that done. So beginning of the year, I'm promoting and sitting that out. And I'll, of course, have my Tap In the Roots of Our Faith done prior to that. Okay. So Trump's going to thump, nothing new to talk about there. And, on Spotify, that's how you find, that's the one song right now. So you will be glorified. It's possible my daughter can take voice lessons with Yumi, our great piano voice teacher from church, and maybe get school credit for that. If that happens, I get her really getting. I think she'll sing that song. That'd be perfect. I would love that. So, yeah, that would be good. All right, so we're gonna let's see current events. Anything? Nothing that I can think of. I'm having a great time talking to my daughter about these issues, and she's getting it. I mean, it's common sense. She asked me, why are we in debt as a country and that kind of stuff. So what do you say? And of course, we're worse off now, and she's at her age than we were when I was 15, going on 16. So, and what do you do about that? Well, we're voting for these people. It's our choice, and because we're disengaged, and I'd say we print money, we borrow money from our enemy. Not a good strategy. I mean, that's not how you would run your house. Hopefully, go into a lot of debt, and that's not a good way to run a country that you want to be sustained. So, anyway, we need more people to be aware of this. And we had the Tea Party movement way back in the day, and where is it? Where'd it go? Has the problem been solved? Is that why it's gone? Or just people moved on to the next thing? Isn't that amazing? Why was that such a big deal then? And we're in way worse debt now than we were then, right? So anyhow. Yeah, so back to the rhyme. So homeschool grandpa, finished a verse. I got to come up with a little hook here. I thought I had an idea, but it escapes me, so I'm going to have to come up with something probably different. This to write on. Okay, so the homeschool grandpa. It's as simple as it can be. Strikes me as quite elementary. Why are we spending our childhood in a model that can do little good? Is it not the end game to one day be productive, one day to be productive food? In order to do that, it does require me to be at this building with these kids and these teachers for a bit more than a tid. Am I not better off asking that I get off at the next stop and hop over to a new school with a new set of rules? That refrain you hear whenever the market is near is that the customer comes first. Student driven, the student thirsts for more of what they get, and what they getting has got the status quo sweating. So that was like my short. They're the last 4 sentences. That's about 45 seconds. All right. So the homeschool grandpa. Maybe it can just be like a dialogue. Question, teacher, why are we here? Okay, so this is going to be the hook, and they're asking me, the homeschool grandpa. Yeah, the grandkids or somebody, right? Excuse me, teacher. Okay, so we'll call this homeschool grandpa. This pen's writing pretty nice. My daughter calls it not crunchy. I can't remember. Smooth, I guess. Okay. Excuse me. Remember that song Hot for Teacher? Yeah, that wasn't an engaged class. Excuse me. Teacher. Why are we here? That's the question. Answer. Oh, this is a shout out to Rushko. Yes. Yes, little Johnny. You're here. No. You're here to get prepared for life. And I'm here that's going on. That's pretty bad for a teacher to prepare you. No. Okay. Great. Now let's try it this way. Wonderful. I'm going to say great grandpa, because if I say great grandpa, no, just grandpa. Wonderful grandpa. I'm glad to know my time is not being wasted. Maybe exclamation point. Wonderful. wonderful, Grandpa. I'm glad to know my time's not being wasted. Okay, that's our hook. How do you like that? Okay. So now, another sheet of paper. Now, you remember that Hot for Teacher song? Yeah, I got my number 2 pencil. I mean, there's the other one. I put that in the last one. Was that another brick on the wall? And I did that last week. I forgot to put that on my hashtag. Disenfranchised. Okay, let's just start the next verse. Disenfranchised. Oh, here we go. Disenfranchised. I was going to say something else. Disaffected, right? Now, I'm going to look that one up. I've never written that one down before. Disaffected. Disinfected. Disaffected. Ooh. Chartreuse. Trademark for a green or yellow liqueur. Used to call my teammate that. Baseball. Okay, disenfranchised. No. Disaffected. Yeah. Okay. So disaffected. No longer contented and loyal, resentful. All right. Disaffected. Okay. Yeah. Disheartened. I'm in the dis area. I'll just look them all up and I'll just give the definitions. And we're just going to do a lot of this dissing. Disenfranchised. To disfranchise. I guess we know what that means. I'm not too worried about it. Disheartened. Disheartened. To shake or destroy the courage or resolution of dispirit. I'll put dispirit too. Disheartened. Dispirited. Disillusion. That's what I was going to say. What? Disillusioned. To free or deprive of illusion. The act of disenchanting. Disenchanting. Oh gosh, that's another one, right? Disillusion. I won't go on forever, but disenchanted. Just plain dissed. Is you tired of this? By the way, if you haven't seen Thomas Sowell, the Cartier family's putting it out with him talking about redneck culture coming from England, or black culture, in the South, kind of adopted this redneck culture, which comes from England. And then he's saying that many white people did stay. Anyway, this slang and all this stuff comes from, hip hop and all that, street talk, whatever, comes from that, apparently. I haven't done a ton of research, but I think there's something there and it's being talked about. Whatever. Just I share that because, there's that redneck and this and that. And it's kind of it is what it is. There's positives and negatives, but a lot of it is kind of a negative. I think those folks were of a negative orientation in general. And it kind of can weigh down a community if that's the mindset. And of course, not speaking proper English and all that, which, it's something there. But I think slang is easier to do when you talk about this kind of writing and rap and all that. It would be very hard to do this, rigid, proper English in the rap format, I would think. Is you getting tired of this? Getting PO'd? What to do, yo? Okay, seriously, if you are in this situation, now in Japan, they have a lot of shut-ins. Maybe they're getting bullied at school. I think there's a lot of pressure in schools. You don't hear about shut-ins in America. And these are kids that just flat won't leave their house and go to school. Now there is a lot more online, and that's probably been a blessing for, it's just, you don't hear about it. I don't know. I think we have people like that, but they have that term shut in and people will do that and just flat not go to school. Again, having a conversation with someone at church and their daughter wasn't working for them. So my mentor, he was talking about his son who is a very high energy, and they want him to, he said every last teacher told him, put your kid on a medication so he could sit down and quiet down and sit in their class. And the parents refused to do that. Praise the Lord. Because his learning style wasn't suitable for, see, that's the thing. It's like you gotta, the conversation is always you the student have to adjust to our style of instruction, not the instruction has to serve your method of learning, right? And of course that's probably very expensive because it's always about cost and you got this, but that's what we're talking about. So if you're a student, so I'm just throwing it out in this case, if you're feeling all these things as a student, what can you do without just being a shut-in or refusing to participate? And again, because of the world we live in now, there are options, and hopefully parents are open to that. But again, some people are status quo. They're very used to the same old type of thing. So, but I think it's good to be educated on your options and take your power back. Because in the end, there's different types of students. There's obedient ones, and then there's people that I guess you could say strong-willed, and I think that's what's going on. So what to do, yo? Well, just go with the flow. question, and that's the end of the show. Till next time, back to the rhymes.